Welcome to the Metal Prognosis. My name is Lee, and on today's recording video, we're going to be looking at a demo that I recorded for my band Shadows of Bay, which I've got the session set up behind me. And what I thought would be cool was, because it's been semi-composed, how about we try putting some external equipment behind it and see how we can spruce it up and hopefully make it sound better. And we're going to be doing that by using the Solid Studio again by Nux. And what I thought would be cool was, let's try matching it up this time with the Djenttonic by Blackcat amps. Now, with this song, there's two different type of guitars to it. There's a lead patch that's got a melody that starts off the song and a rhythm. So these will be good for rhythm. And what I thought we'll do is let's keep it all external. So I've got an MXR delay pedal that we'll put to it for the lead patch. And also, I'll just chuck on a noise gate so we can really push these a little bit further and keep the signal as clean as possible because we're going to be putting this directly into our mixing console, so no microphones, no speakers or anything, and just capture the sound as it is. And then we'll compare them and see how it sounds. And like all my videos, there's a jam, but this time we've got a more guided view on what the jam's going to be because we've got the song behind us, so we know this time exactly what we're aiming for and what we need. So yeah, without further ado, let's get stuck into it. So first we'll have a look at the demo song, and it'll just be the first little section of the song. I'm not going to do the whole song. I mean, I will eventually, but for this video, we'll just do the start part. And then we'll set up all this, dial in a quick 2 different patches there, record them, and then do an A-B comparison, and then have a chat about it afterwards and see how it all sounds. So let's get stuck into it. So it's hard to really say the title for this one of how we're going to do it, but yeah, the Solid State Studio mixed with the Blackcat amps, a delay and a noise gate, versus how I recorded when I was composing. So let's see how it turns out. So now we have the session all set up, ready to go. What I've got here is I'd like to color code all my things when I'm composing, so I know where everything is. So I'm not going to run through too much of how I do composing and how I do it. I'll save that for another video. But for this one, so you know what's going on, the pink is the intro and also the chorus. And the green is the verse. And there's a little section here where nothing's happening because that's for the bass and drums for the pre-chorus. So to run through how I've set this up for composing, I've got my Fortin NTS set up here with nothing fancy. It's just got the preset here, and it does sound amazing. It's a really good plugin by Neural DSP. And for the lead patch, I've just added in just a quick delay just to help give that ambience that I enjoy in my lead patch. And for the verse is the same. We've got the Fortin there, because that's running through this channel here, but there's no delay or echo. And as you can see here, I've got a couple of copy and paste, which is something I do all the time when I'm composing, but when it comes to actually recording for either the EP or album, I never copy and paste. I'll always myself do an extra take, or if I'm dealing with a musician, if I'm just producing, I'll always get them to do an extra take. Because the song changes and it takes you on a journey and evolves, and you want their playing to actually reflect that. And copy and pasting is just, it is kind of lazy, but it also takes away from the song, I feel. So I always like to do extra takes for those, which is exactly what we'll be doing in a moment. But let's play the song first so you understand what foundation we're working with and where, what things we need to do to improve it, take that next step. So sit back, enjoy this song, and then straight afterwards, we'll set up all the other external equipment and come up with these 2 patches and record them. And then we'll do it back to back. But for starters, this is what it sounds like as is. So there we have it, that is. There's obviously the whole song there, but I'm just giving the start part just for this video. So yeah, let's go back, set up all the other equipment and re-record this, hopefully better. Okay, now we have everything set up and ready to go. I'm not going to run through everything individually because we're just going to come up with a quick sound. But I will say this with the Solid Studio, because you can load your own IRs in here or your own speaker simulators, for lack of a better term. There's a YouTuber who does Frightbox recordings channel, and he's really cool. I like the conversations that he has on there. He had a free IR that you could grab off him. So I grabbed it off him, and I'm curious to see how it holds up in this little device here, because I've never tried it in the device before. So let's see how it goes. So we have the Solid Studio here, which has an amp thing that will turn on and a cab. So at the moment, we've got boring, clean, that no one wants. So let's engage the Djenttonic. So straight away, we get a bit of hiss, or a lot of hiss. So what I've done is I've hooked this up last of the chain, my noise gate. So we'll just turn it on. Now it's nice and quiet. That sounds brutal straight off the bat. I really like that. So I'm running a little bit hot, as in the amount of volume I've got coming through, but it's not bad. It's not peaking, so it's not spiking too much, so I'm just going to leave it as is. But yeah, that's sounding, I'm not even going to bother about touching any of the Djenttonic levels and all that, because, I mean, we can always argue that you can keep going backwards and forwards and trying everything, but as a standard, I have a little bit of drive running through on the amp simulator here, and I have the presence always up, if not full, close to full, because I really like to open up those frequencies with the EQ. With the Djenttonic, looks like I've got a little bit of highs and lows push, and the mids just straight up. Gains not too far off high noon or 12 o'clock, which is straight up and down. Level isn't pushing it that much. So yeah, that's... That's sounding excellent just straight off the bat. So now let's try get a lead patch, because I'm really happy with that rhythm-wise, which I'm pleasantly surprised how quickly I got that. I thought there might have been a bit more going backwards and forwards and trying to scrounge out what I can do, but no, that works out really well. Yeah, so the Frightbox recordings IR they had with the Solid Studio go really well hand in hand. But lead patch, so we've got the delay thing here. This was given to me by a bandmate, so I'm keen to give it a crack now and see how it sounds. So. There's a mod button here. Let's see what that does. When there's an off note and you got delay, it reminds you that you hit an off note. playing's a bit off, but I'm not here judging my playing, we're just going off the sound. That's all right, I'll put the mix up a little bit, not too much, but it might be overkill because I think I like where it was sitting before. Yeah, so I'll dial back the mix a little bit. Yeah, not too bad. Might dial back the mix a little bit. We add in just a couple more of that, little bit of that. Not too bad. Yeah, I think I'll just leave it like that now, because we're at that point now where I could definitely tweak a lot more little bits here and there and all that, but I really like the sounds that we're capturing there, so I say let's just keep it and move on. So now what I'll do is I'll do my usual Brady Bunch and set up all the different takes that I do for all of them. So I'll do one lead, which will be for the intro and the chorus, and I'll do two rhythms without the delay engaged, so pretty much exactly the same as this setup here, which normally you try EQ it slightly different and muck around a little bit with the lead, but for the purposes of this video, we're just keeping it super simple. So I'll do two rhythm tracks and pan them extreme left and right. I'll go grab the bass guitar after that and record the bass. And yeah, and then we'll do a back-to-back comparison and compare the two guitars and see what they sound like. And this is definitely not which is going to sound better, as in this product is better over this setup. Not at all, because I haven't delved into the neural NTS that I have there to try and make it sound the best at what it can. This is just a case of using purely this external equipment. What sounds can we get out of it, and pretty much how's it going to sound? So yeah, for the purpose of conversation and just having some fun and trying it all, mashing all these different things together. Let's see how it's going to sound in a full band mix. Sit back, enjoy, and I'll see you all on the other side. time for my final thoughts on mashing up the Solid Studio with, well, the Djenttonic and all the rest of it. So firstly, adding in the Frightbox recordings IR into here worked an absolute treat. Not only because it was free, and I definitely thank him for that, that's very generous of him, but the fact that it worked with this internal equipment is amazing. It just shows how versatile this little unit can be. So definitely keep your eyes out for more videos using this because, yeah, we're getting some great sounds out of it. So that's really cool. The Djenttonic, I could talk about this for a long time, but the fact that I'll just do an overall with this pretty much because I didn't really dial much in except for this delay here. So turning these on just straight as it is worked out a charm. So the fact that these settings, just I left it at, was, you could say partly chance, but definitely worked out really, really well because they kind of all spoke to each other so well, I didn't need to really dabble in deeper and all that. Just like all my pretty much all my videos I do, you can argue that I could delve in a little bit more deeper to fine tune the sound a little bit more and do a little bit more backwards and forwards. But I didn't for this because I didn't want this to be an hour-long video. So the only really issue I had was with this delay pedal. Now, this delay pedal is pretty good. I like it for the little bit that we mucked around in it. My only issue is purely on the user, not the equipment, is I would have preferred to have recorded this a few times to the rhythm tracks in the studio, or on the session, I should say, to make sure I feel the flow properly. Because when I started recording, this didn't sound too bad, but when I added in the rhythm and everything else, I felt like it was just a little bit out of place. Now, once again, that's the user, not the equipment. But for what it was, it worked out really well. And I also felt as soon as I did start recording and adding in all the rhythm guitars to it and the bass, I definitely would EQ the lead patch a lot differently. But for this video, it didn't really matter. But I felt like making a point of that for some reason. I think just for my own satisfaction, because I think everyone understands how my video works. It's all about keeping it raw and just showing you what it's like rather than me trying to show off my engineering skills, which I am going to do a video soon on more different techniques that I do inside the actual studio on the sessions. But that's for another video, not for this one. So now let's have a quick talk about the difference between the two that I had. So the original demo recordings I had compared to these ones here. Firstly, I preferred these ones here, which if I didn't, well, I'd be worried because the issue that, not really the issue, but what's the right way of describing it? The not better position, for lack of a better term, that the Fortin had there was, it didn't know what it was in for. So I just used that just as to get a really cool distortion and just start composing. But once the actual song had characteristics and had something, some body and some life to it, then I could add what I wanted and what I heard and envisioned for those. So this definitely had an advantage being going second because it knew what it was in for and knew what had to be done to get the song to the next level. So definitely nothing against the Fortin NTS plugin that I use there because it is a very powerful and good plugin. I definitely am a big fan of it. But we're talking about this stuff here, this equipment here. Majority of this is opinionated. There's no right or wrong. If you prefer the other one, that's no problem at all. If you prefer this way, that's no problem at all. But what I will say about this little setup here is firstly how quick it was to actually put together and to start recording with it. There was very little I needed to do to check the lines or anything. I pretty much plugged it in, pushed record on the camera, and it all flowed. We got good signal coming through the mixer here and good signal, which equals good signal coming through into the studio and running this noise gate, which I haven't done much in my videos, and for these videos, type of videos, I'm definitely going to utilize this more just because it's going to be so much easier editing and that, because the signal, and it kind of represents what I stand for too, is get a clean signal to start with. So having this in there really helped get rid of that hiss and clean it up. So then when it came to recording it on there, I didn't have to do any post-editing at all because this cleaned it up really nicely. So the fact that you could just put all this stuff together as quickly as, well, what you saw, as I did on the in this video, and just start recording, I think is amazing. And the thing I really love about this is not only can you get a really cool sound out of it, and I'm definitely going to try push this more with different IRs, as in speaker emulators, to see what else we can get out of it. But it helps you commit straight away. So you're not going to get caught in this, what's it called? Analysis paralysis situation where you've got so many different things to choose what you can on the computer that you can never actually commit, and you can actually lose sight on the overall picture by it. Where this one, you kind of can commit straight away, and when you actually start playing, you can feel what you're playing. Because a lot of the time, if you do it on the computer, you play along, and then once you change something, you get that sound that you might think is cool, but you didn't play along to that sound. So you didn't get to utilize its full characteristics in either your playing or the actual sound you're getting. Where this you could. I could hear the distortion exactly as it was, and that changed how I played and the whole feel of what I pushed as a performer. So that is a great plus in that regards. And also too, because you're going straight in there, oops, sorry, probably just hit your ear. Because you're going straight into the desk and straight into the studio, the waveforms that you're getting there are close to final. So therefore, you're not pushing your computer that hard in its processing aspects. So you'll be able to record more without having to worry about it running out of processing power, which I think is a really good and positive thing when it comes to recording. Now, I come from an analog background, so definitely this is more my comfort zone, and I make no secret of that. As much as I do love the digital stuff there, this is definitely more my comfort. But once again, nothing to say there's anything wrong with digital distortion, because they have come, as in the computer digital distortion, they've come a long, long way, and they've got some amazing stuff. And I'm definitely going to do a video where I only do digital distortion to see how that sounds as well and how far I can push it. So I think that's enough babbling on for this now, because this video is pretty self-explanatory. But like all my videos, I'd love to hear your opinion of it. So how do you feel about mixing all this equipment together? And how did you feel about, well, the whole process, how quickly I put it all together, how the sound came through? Is this something that you feel like you could utilize, having some source of external equipment where you finalize your sound, or come close to finalizing your sound going into the studio, as in into the mixer and then into the actual session, rather than having something that's so dry, which is fine, having a dry signal and then having the millions of different options you can to manipulate that dry sound into coming to something, because the options are absolutely endless when it comes to that. Definitely keen to hear your thoughts. And in saying that, I'll do my sign off now, because I have definitely said enough, and I can keep babbling on and on and on. So if you've lasted this long in the video, thank you very much, and appreciate you being a part of these conversations that I definitely love having with you. And in saying that, Barbara's going to keep sleeping. She's not going to join in on this. Until next time, I really look forward to chatting with you then. And please, stay safe.